Welcome back to another episode of Football presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from the Oshner Andrew Sports Medicine Institute podcast studio. If you are looking to get a new car, make sure you go check out my guy, Matt Bowers. He's got dealerships all over the place, and the one consistent thing at every single one of them, besides the customer service and the quality and the selection and the inventory and all the other great things, is that they will get you the best possible prices. Make sure you go check out Matt. He'll get you in the car of your dreams today. Tell him that NOF sent you. All right. Good show for you guys today. The Saints had their scrimmage and day 10 of training camp. They're off tomorrow, back at practice on Tuesday, and then it's off to Irvine, California to get ready for the preseason game, which is 1 week from today. So football is coming, and I have no idea what the Saints are going to look like in that game. It was up and down today in today's scrimmage, so we're going to get into that. First topic presented by Aaron Rose. Tyler Shuck, up and down today. Spencer Rattler, up and down today. What are your major takeaways?
I kind of feel like we do know what the first preseason games like. This was a great practice, not a great practice for positivity and optimism, but a great practice for evaluation. Like this was as close to a preseason game as you're going to see from one team by itself on a field. I mean, Kellen Moore and Brandon Staley, he said what 126 snaps is what he said of live scrimmage, live play calling, tons and tons of series. We saw each of the quarterbacks several times, namely Rattler and Shuck, taking turns going against the ones and the twos with the ones and the twos. Um, and we saw a couple things like, oh, okay, that's what a good Shuck drive looks like. It was, whatever, 8 plays, 8 completions. A couple of times we saw him put together like a 12 play, 14 play drive. We've been talking about how he doesn't throw it down the field very often, but this was all right. If he moves the chains, this is what a successful Tyler Shuck can look like. But then we saw probably some of his worst moments of all of camp. But that's what you get when you finally get to see these guys put full drives together, whatever, whatever it was, 40, 50 snaps a piece, close to it, 40 snaps a piece for each of them. And we expected highs and lows. I think the lows were even a little lower than we wanted. They both threw interceptions today that weren't pretty. Shuck also had that intentional grounding that really wasn't pretty. There was some stalls in the red zone, or stalled scoring opportunities for both. I think it's similar to the rest of camp in that, man, you wanted to feel a little bit more optimistic about something, but I think it was probably a realistic showcase for those. And again, I mean, everything that we're saying about them, we're always talking about the quarterbacks. It was a great day for the defense, but was that because they were going against these quarterbacks?
One thing you said there, and I don't think Kellen Moore would ever admit to it. Nobody would ever admit to it if we asked him at the podium. But I feel fairly confident saying that I think they're probably telling these guys to hit the passes in the flat and check down and not push it too far down the field. I guarantee they're probably telling them, hey, look, like if we don't turn the ball over, we can move the ball by doing this. And it seems like that's the method of operation overall.
When they get into real games, I'm 100% sure there's gonna be the most conservative. It's gonna be like Sean Payton's Jameis offense,
Yes.
100%.
And
Yeah,
that's what it looks like
yeah,
right now,
yeah,
to the point where it's just
yeah,
it's almost comical, and every
yeah.
day we do the throw chart, it's just kinda dotted up on both sides of the field. Rattler tried to push it a little bit today. There were a couple plays where Shuck did. I'm not saying they're completely
Yeah.
like neutered, but everything from Shuck has been inside. It's the short 0 to 10 or 10 to 20. There's really nothing in that beyond that long area of the field. Feels very intermediate in short area. Rattlers push it a little bit further, but it's kind of the same way. It's a very conservative approach from both of them, and I think that is being coached into them. And we saw in the first drive that it can work. You can get down the field like that. I don't think you're going to score 35 on anybody like that, but I don't
Yeah.
think this is a team
This isn't a team
that's
that wants to score 35.
yeah, well, I'm sure they want to, but they can't. Like
Yeah.
you pull up next to the Lambo and the Toyota, like you're not going to beat the Lambo in the race. Like you just kind of got to do what you do, not make your mistakes. Hope that by finishing the race, you're in a position to win the game, and that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. And
Luckily, they're not playing at Lambeau this year because they were like a beaten down old '80s Toyota against Lambeau Field last year.
yeah, so yeah,
But like I will say this, Kellen Moore did say his play calling today was a lot more passing than he would normally do because they wanted to see the quarterbacks. So that leans a little bit more to show me something and not just be conservative. Yeah, when the play calls really count, I think people are gonna get sick of seeing run plays with this team. Stubborn running the ball because that's where they have talent, offensive line and run game. So unfortunately, if this is airing it out more than they plan to, and this still wasn't airing it out, yeah, get ready for conservative. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I think once they start running the ball, we'll probably see more shots down the field too off of play action. I think that's
Sure.
probably one way that we'll see some of those. But right now they aren't. We haven't seen a lot of that in these practices. It's really just kind of hit it to the flats, some RPOs, run the ball, and do it that way. Not a lot of aggressiveness, though. But I don't think that's in their DNA. I don't think they're built for it. Um, go into Shuck Day. We'll start there because I think that's the guy that we're gathering information on. We've seen Rattler play in games.
Yes.
So this is kind of the first time that we're really unveiling a large swath of Shuck and seeing what it really could look like with him. I was surprised by some of the decision making. I think that's the headliner here, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna back into it. Like I think if I'm walking away from this thing, that's the first thing I'm talking about. And there were a couple plays, two of them were very obvious. He got down into the red zone on his second full field trip,
Well, he
and
got down. He scored a
it was
touchdown on the first
it was
one,
his
so
fourth
he
drive.
got down to the red zone
It
on
was
3 of the first 4?
it was his fourth drive because I think they went back. They did the like the buried situation.
Yep,
He went three and out, then
that's
went
right.
four and out, and then the fourth drive they
Okay.
go back down the field. Another kind of dink and dunk solid drive. And again, there's nothing dirty about dinking and dunking. Tom Brady won a lot of Super Bowls playing football like that. Um, but they get down there, he gets pressured by Bullard. He rolls out, and man, I guess he was trying to throw the ball to Juwan Johnson, but it was just kind of like like a little fling. Like, and it was bad. Like it just looked so bad optically. It looked like a panic play.
Yeah,
I don't want to put that on him, but it looked like he absolutely panicked in that moment. Just kind of like tries to shovel this thing out. And instead of going for a 2, 3, 4 yard loss, he loses 15. First down turns into second. They're unable to score on the drive. Um, probably turns 7 into 3. Very bad play. Then another time back down to the red zone, does the thing. And again, that first play was kind of, if you aren't watching it, go on our website and watch it. New
you get
Orleans
really good
Football.
looks at all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
plays, yeah.
Use the code NOF 20% off your first payment. Kind of looked like the viral play where he kind of like shoveled it into the pick. Then you get to the next viral play. Kind of looked like there was the Notre Dame play last year where he's drifting to his left and tries to throw a side angle throw. Best play he probably made in his college shape. I don't know if he was trying to do the same thing again, but he's drifting to his left. And there's a pack of three guys, Nephi Souls in the pack. Rashid Shaheed's open behind it in the back of the end zone, probably about 5, 10 yards away from the end zone. He's wide open in the back of the end zone. And like Shuck has him and he's open and he's drifting. And I guess like in the perfect world, you say plant your feet and throw a little pop pass over the top. Maybe that's hard to do, even then, like he throws it on the move and tries to like sidearm it
Yeah.
through, and he just like if he had just lofted this thing in there, he's getting it there. Julian Blackman's on the other side. There's no way he's getting to it. Like there's no way you're making.
Rashid Shaheed was wide open.
Yeah,
Now look, the good thing about being able to go back and watch this tape is my vantage point was the back of the end zone. I think you were right at about even with the goal line on the sideline.
I was behind.
You were behind the end zone too, and I think we probably saw Shaheed wide open even faster than him. And then when you go back and watch the tape and you can slow mo in his eyes, he was looking at a receiver to the outside, and you can see the exact moment where he recognized Shaheed. If he had recognized him earlier, you probably get a better pass. So it is easy for us to say stop running to your left, plant your feet, and make the throw. But it was terrible. It was his worst play of camp.
Even when he
Yeah,
even seeing it like even seeing him late though, like if he throws it different,
yeah,
like it just felt
yeah,
like to me he could have just lofted this
yeah.
thing over, and he tries to kind of like shovel it through sidearm. Now, granted, Nephi Soul makes like a good play, dot kind of launches back to get it, so it isn't like he threw it like directly at him. I kind of like first glance, I was like, man,
Yeah.
that was like way too easy. It was kind of he made a play, but it was still a very bad decision.
I don't
Shouldn't have
think
thrown the
that
ball.
pass would have got. I think it would have been an incomplete pass if Sewell didn't
Yeah.
intercept it. Shaheed was wide open and he did not hit his target. And I don't think it was just Sewell that prevented it from happening. Yeah.
And then kind of moving on from there, there was a very last play of the practice. I'll give him this, like second to last play to practice. He throws a pass, a touch pass into the right corner of the end zone, puts it over a leaping defender right in the basket to Seth Green, hits him in the hands, and it just falls to the ground. So he should have got a touchdown. So the next play, theoretically shouldn't happen, but it did
Yeah.
happen in his
Yeah.
practice, and you're evaluating everything, so it does matter. It's not we aren't doing the NFC Championship thing where it's like, well, Drew Brees should have never thrown that pick in overtime because Bill Vinovich
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
effing
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
That no, this is practice, so everything counts.
Yeah.
Throws the ball, should have gotten picked off by 37. If 37 didn't pick it off, 35 should have picked it off. They collide together, no pick.
Yeah.
But it was a horrible decision. And there were two other ones throughout the practice that
Yeah.
I thought were turnover worthy plays. Just a lot of head scratching decisions from him throughout it. Now,
Well,
I'll
yeah,
give you
I'll
the
say,
floor before
first
we
of all,
flip it to
I
the
will say
positive.
the last one, I'm not going to kill his decision making because it was either 4th down or 0 seconds left on the clock. It was kind of like
Well,
a
you still could throw it to a guy and wearing the same color shirt as you.
you can, but I mean, there was no like throw it away. There was no throw a check down. There was like
It was
it was
a
touchdown.
competitive throw, though.
Yeah, but it was a touchdown or bust situation. So decision making, but yeah, decision making was very poor throughout. Yeah, the one that almost got intercepted that Jalen Ford just plain dropped. That should have been an interception. That should have been one of his lowest moments of the
Well,
day.
on that one, Foskey hit his arm
Yeah,
when he
but
threw it.
still,
Yeah.
like I mean, that
Yeah.
was a bad throw.
So
Like they get down to the red
if
zone.
we're counting that, I had two others beyond that.
He should not have let go of that ball, even though it got hit, because it was like 1st and goal in the red zone or whatever. It was 1st or 2nd down. It was not the time to. In that case, you did need to be more secure and live to play another down. And the intentional grounding, I think, was also on first down when he tried to make that throw. Now, look, I can kind of assume that in his mind he was going to throw it away, and then the pass rush got there quicker than he expected, so he dropped the ball. I mean, it was basically almost a fumble, and you could almost credit him for a fumble. I mean, it was almost a disastrous. It was a disastrous play. It was almost even more disastrous. So those were some really ugly things, and yeah, that's kind of disturbing because we talked halfway through practice, and I said, and Chuck at that point was doing some good things, some bad things, but I said, this is definitely the most encouraging day because we're now seeing how he can survive in an NFL game. Like, yeah, we haven't seen him throw the ball down the field a lot. We've seen him be very conservative, but now we're seeing, okay, so maybe that'll be a touchdown drive and a couple field goal drives and a couple punts. And all right, it reminded me of like Sean Payton's plan for Jameis Winston that year. Maybe that's how Tyler Shuck gets in as a rookie and gets comfortable. So to see these, oh no, like these were like meltdown level plays. These were like you're going to give 14 points to the other team level plays. That's what's disturbing because you want to know that you can feel comfortable putting them out there.
One play we're forgetting too is on that same series, he has the little
Yeah.
play. Then he hits a pass, I think, to Mason Tipton, and then the next play, 3rd down, they're in zero coverage, and he just kind of like launches the ball up to the back of the end zone for Olave, and it just completely misses the mark. Quincy Riley goes up and gets it. It was out of bounds,
But
but like there was a play
one
there.
foot was inbounds. Yeah.
There was a throw during mini camp where I gave
Yeah.
Chuck credit for throwing a great ball on the sideline that the guy caught it and fell out of bounds. Well, I'm gonna fault him for the same thing
Yeah.
here. Like that's not a throwaway situation.
Yeah.
And if he was trying to throw away, he didn't get enough on it. That was almost picked off too. So it was almost. I mean, it was borderline disastrous.
Yeah.
It was almost like a full.
And that's what you don't want to see. You want to see like, hey, look, there's going to be growing pains, but I'm not going to lose games for us. So that's why I think we're harping on it so much. Now, look, this was his first like 40 snap game simulations the whole time. Now we'll get 3 preseason games before they have to decide if they're ready to put him in the game, and he should probably get better with each one. But it's just a reminder that's what you want to see. You don't want to see that this looks too overwhelming for him and that he'll get the team in trouble. So that's why those plays kind of sting a little more, especially after his very first drive made you feel like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
this team can be
Well,
okay with him.
well,
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Like I thought that was probably the best we've ever seen him.
Yeah.
The ball was coming out quickly. He was playing on rhythm. It
2
wasn't.
third down conversions or 1?
There's at least one
Yeah, that was really nice.
that
3rd and
was
long.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it isn't like it wasn't all bad. There were
Yeah.
some things within this, and there were some things I would say extrapolating this to the whole week. I thought there were things this week where I felt like I've seen little signs of like, all right, this might be good. Like, what if you stretch this out and this becomes better? Okay, he's making his decisions a little bit faster. Okay, he threw the ball 13 yards here. All right, he tried to do this. Like, I feel like there are things happening for him that are getting better. I think there are things happening for him that are still very bad. I think it's still very up in the air of is it going to sink? Is it going to swim? Is it going to be somewhere in between? But there were a few things today where I was like, all right, that might be okay. And then even the drive with the thing up until that, he had a really solid drive up until that point. I do think though after that it kind of
Yeah.
completely fell apart for me.
Yeah, look, offense versus defense overall, like this was a marathon and a sprint today. This was like a practice that ran these. We've had lots of days off and lighter practices and shorter practices. This one was like 2.5 hours and it was almost all action. And I think that favored the defense even more and more as the day went on. The offense was kind of sputtering toward the end of it with everybody.
He closed his day with the series against the threes, and it was like, it wasn't great either.
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know. I think there's a lot that he needs to learn from. I do want to give him the benefit of saying though that I do think he is learning from some of the stuff, and I think there is still going to be a process. But as we sit here, basically at the end of Camp Metairie, the first phase of Camp Metairie, I would say that I feel a little bit more concerned about him than I did going in. I thought he had a pretty good 7-on-7 summer.
Yeah.
I thought there were things that I actually thought things were kind of coming together quickly for him. I thought he was going to hit this and kind of look a little bit more put together. I thought it'd be a process, but this is really not to me. I still feel like it's an easier decision to go to Rattler than I expected it was going to be after seeing what we saw this summer. I thought it was going to kind of be, a back and forth, like a lot of punches. And I think right now you just have to go with the safer guy, and it's definitely Rattler right now.
Yeah. And like I've said a million times, there's, if you started with Shuck and he struggled and then you wanted to go away from Shuck, that would be so awkward and weird. Like there's still a path that is wide open and exists for me that even if Rattler's starting week one, if there's any struggles earlier in the season, Shuck could come in October and like this development curve is not weird for a 40th pick in the draft. There are very few 40th picks in the draft who start week one and look great on the first scrimmage 10 days into training camp. So I think he'll look a little better with each passing preseason game. I think maybe they could throw him in there against, the Patriots or the Giants in September. And I think he could have a promising rookie season. None of this precludes you from that. But I think the way he was going to get on the field is by defying the odds and looking more ready than a second round pick should. And he has not looked more ready than a second round pick should yet.
It's weird from the sense of that he's 26. Your rookie's older than your starter.
Yeah.
It's weird in the sense that the guy that's going to probably start week one has never won an NFL game. So it isn't like you're going to Brian Hoyer or a McCown or like whatever, and they're kind of holding the spot. It's weird in the sense that people will probably rally behind him and not just view Spencer as a temporary placeholder the way they would with the Brian Hoyer, which I think opens up a lot of noise like in your stadium. People aren't cheering for Brian Hoyer to keep his job over Jimmy Garoppolo or whatever. Like when you take Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round, like that isn't how people look at it. I think they will here. I
Yeah.
think I think Rattler is very much the people's champ.
Yeah.
And I
No
understand
question.
why. And I think he should be. I get it. Like he's an underdog story. Like that's the guy. They tried to replace the underdog. The underdog's winning. That's Rocky. That's that's what you want to do. You want to cheer for that guy. So I think all that, and then I also think, I mean, are the odds of this? Who knows? But like, if you put Rattler on the field and he starts winning games, you
Yeah.
can't ever take him off, and now you
Yeah.
never get a chance to look at him. So
Yeah.
I would say
That,
that it
that I would
like
call
giving
that a good problem to have though. If Rattler wins too much, then you can look at Shuck next summer because you're not drafting a quarterback.
Mhm. I think the tone of like the coverage and the analysis, and the reason we lead with Tyler Shuck on this and not Spencer Rattler, and the reason it's talked about this way though, is that they drafted him to probably play week one. And if he isn't ready to play week one, like his most touted characteristic from people that watch him was like, well, he's mature and he's going to be ready to play.
Yeah.
And if he's not ready to play, it is a little,
Yeah.
you start to at least open the door for the pick to be a miss. Now, I've said it a million times, and just because like you're in a reality where all of a sudden it could be a possibility, and I don't think this is we're anywhere even close to this. I will never fault the team though for picking a quarterback anywhere. Like if you think you see a 1% chance, you take a chance, and the only way to win is by playing the game. So like we'll see, but you know, obviously it's a setback though, and it's another setback for a team that hasn't drafted very well. Continuing this conversation, presented by RV Masters, this portion of the conversation. You see the show, you see the work. Just go to RV Masters. They'll hook you up. I love them guys. They do great work. I got them doing more work for me actually soon. So just kind of looking at the position and the state of it overall. Hayner got some reps today. What did you take from that? Just kind of how the rotation went.
That was pretty telling.
He ended up getting a lot of work at the end though.
He got a lot of work, but it was pretty telling that he's clearly third. Like,
Yes.
for a while, we were starting to think, is he not necessarily third in this battle? Like, is Kellen Moore truly treating this like an absolute three-way competition? And this was, you know, probably pretty disheartening if you're Jake Hayner that, like, no, they see me as third in this battle. Now, look, we've said a million times, Shuck needs the reps. Shuck needed this practice, even though it wasn't all pretty. He needs this so that he can take the next step when they're playing against the Chargers next week. You can't take these reps away from him, and you can't take him away from Rattler if he's going to be your week one starter. So somebody has to be the odd man out. And unfortunately, it really looked like it was, because not only did Hayner go third today all day long, and never get a chance with the ones, but it was actually supposed to be Hayner's day with the ones too, on top of everything else. So instead of not being the one who went first, he was moved all the way to third. Now we might come out here Tuesday and he might get a day
I
with the
kind of
ones then.
expected, yeah.
But this was a day where, you know, they showed where things stand right now, and right now he's in third, and that's a lot of ground he's going to have to make up in a short amount of time.
Yeah. I do think this thing in this is independent Hayner. I don't think Hayner's probably going to be the starting quarterback for the Saints. Like it's just like, and I don't mean to dismiss him from it. I don't
Yeah.
think they're going that direction. I think they see his ceiling and they're going to go boom or bust with one of the other guys. With the other guys, though, I still like. I think the game's going to be the most telling thing. Like
Of course,
it would
of
not
course.
shock me to see someone. I keep saying it. Like I think the reality is there for it to really click into place
Yeah.
for either one of them. Like
Yeah.
either one of them could really have it click. I think they're still trying to do it. And we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But I think this game is going to be highly, highly interesting. I do think if you're asking me today, my expectation, I think Rattler's going to probably play better, and I think he's probably. If you ask me to make a bet on who is going to be, like I think he probably makes his case in that game, and we'll see from there. And I bet he starts too.
Another thing that was really interesting though today, seeing 126 snaps of like highly competitive snaps, is how little we've seen so far. Like, we don't just have the Chargers game coming up. We have 3 preseason games coming up, and in between we have full weeks of practice. And I don't know if they plan to go out in Tulane and do the Tulane practice. And I don't know if they plan to have another scrimmage. We know they're not going to have joint practices, but it's pretty remarkable to think we still have a month more information to gather, including at least 3 more sessions that'll be way more telling than this one, if not 10 more sessions that'll be way more telling than anything we've seen so far. So yeah, obviously that's what we do here, is we pour over everything,
Yep.
but nothing conclusive yet.
Yeah. All right. Going on to our next topic, presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey and Chilton County Peach. Some big plays today by Nephi Sewell and Kool-Aid McKinstry. I really, really like how Kool-Aid's
Yeah.
playing, and I will. All right. So I'm not making an excuse for anyone here.
Okay.
If you go onto our website and you watch the interception that Spencer Rattler threw to Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kool-Aid does not jump the slant. It's not anything where it's like he Kevin Austin Jr. has his body in front of him. This ball is placed in a way where I have seen NFL wide receivers catch that pass with someone on their back 475,000 times, and somehow the ball just bypasses Kevin Austin and Kool-Aid catches it.
Sure.
I feel like there needed to be better fight there. And I honestly, if I were grading this thing, I'm taking that interception off of Spencer's ledger. I don't blame him for
You
it.
don't blame you
I think
certainly don't blame the decision.
I think it's a throw.
Yeah.
I think he placed the throw, and I think it's a throw you make, and usually it gets broken up or it gets caught,
Sure.
and that's
Sure.
usually how it looks. So, I'm not taking anything away from Kool-Aid. He made the play that was there to be made. I thought some of his best moments though were just like in
Yep.
space with Chris Olave, like watching him turn and run with them,
Yep.
and break up some passes. And I just think he's having an outstanding, exceptional training camp.
Watching this session, they went the same direction the entire way, and I watched most of it from the back of the end zone. And when you add situations to plays, it makes it a lot more easy to evaluate what's going on in the play. There were some third down plays where he was covering Olave, and it was clear that the quarterback was locked in on Olave. And then the quarterback watched Kool-Aid covering Olave, and then they were like, "All right, now I got to go look somewhere else." Like, I mean, and these are quarterbacks who make their who earn their jobs by just throwing it to Olave because that's your best bet. We've joked about that for years. That anytime these quarterbacks are on the field, they just throw to Olave so they can get a completion. And Kool-Aid is doing a great job in those matchups. On top of the splash here plays we've seen, talk to people on the record, talk to people off the record about him. They're seeing the same things we're seeing. It's not just a few highlights in every practice, it's the consistency he's playing with. Again, for the same reasons that we said earlier, very early, hasn't really been tested yet, hasn't played in a preseason game yet, certainly hasn't played in a regular season game. And what week one is Arizona hasn't gone against Marvin Harrison Jr. yet, or a lot of better receivers that are going to come after that. But one of the most encouraging things that we can take out of the first 2 weeks of camp, because he's one of those players on a very short list of guys that have to hit for this team.
Yeah, he's looked awesome so far. And I mean, he looks like the guy at Alabama. Like we talked about it the other day. Like he just didn't seem like himself, even personally. Like, it just seems like you see the person coming out. You see him just being himself. It feels like he's enjoying himself. It feels like he's playing really really well right now. Um, I actually like when I watched them at Alabama. I actually liked him better than Tyrion Arnold. I thought he just looked like a more pro-ready player. I was a little bit surprised last year when it didn't necessarily look exactly the same. And then, he had the foot injury, he gained some weight, felt like he was behind all season, and it makes sense. And now you're seeing him now, and it's like this is exactly who I was expecting to see last year. We'll see how it comes together going into the season. There's obviously an element here where I think anytime we're talking about one of these defensive players, we have to be somewhat careful to wonder what the effect is and what the inflation is given the environment that they're in. But I do think he's playing really good right now, and you can't fake just kind of the quick hip flip movement that it takes to just to be backpedal and turn and run with Olave, run with Rashid Shaheed. The degree of difficulty on that is about as high as anything you're going to see in a season. I'm looking at Tyrion Arnold right now. Our partners at PFF, they didn't like his rookie season at all. 50, a grade of 50. That's not good. That's not good. Um,
Wait, I was going to just mention Nephi Sewell real quick because
yeah,
he's the other one who made the interception. Um, we are touting the crap out of Danny Stutzman, as we should be. Danny Stutzman is getting these incredibly high value snaps, way ahead of the rest of this rookie class, outside of Kelvin Banks, of course. Getting a ton of work with the ones, making plays, living it up to it every day. But we're sort of dismissing Nephi Sewell, and they're running neck and neck. Their snap count is very similar to each other. I think Stutzman's gotten a few more looks with the ones, but with the twos, Sewell is very much in that. And Sewell has now made two of the 3 or 4 best plays period of camp. Like, he made a really good interception today in the red zone. He made an even better interception earlier this week where he had to time it and dive it to catch a tip pass. So credit to Nephi Sewell. Like, if we ever treat him like an afterthought, he came back from the major injury and missed the first half of last season. Man, that is a guy who has not only stuck around in the league, but he's making himself an important player on this team.
I've always liked him. I
Yeah.
liked him that first guy. I've always liked him. I like his game. I do think that if I were making a depth chart, Stutzman is third, though. I think I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Stutzman third on that one, but it's definitely a
You can't
competitive
ignore plays
situation.
like this if he keeps doing it, though.
No,
So,
no doubt about it. All right, we're gonna hit a quick break, and we will be right back with more show. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. If you're looking to get a new or pre-owned car, make sure you check out my guy, Matt Bowers. All right, our next topic is presented by the Mortgage Brothers. Make sure you are checking them out if you're in the market to buy a house. They watch the show, they're at the games. You might as well buy from somebody that has the same hobbies as you. Mortgage Brothers, mortgagebros.money is the website. It'll take you to their place. Tell them that we sent you. They'll give you $500 back on your closing costs. You might as well save money, and you can use that to do whatever you want. That's $500. Get the big TV for the living room. All right. Anyone that changed on your projected depth chart Sunday after the scrimmage?
yeah, we just talked about Stutzman and Sewell. That probably hasn't changed, but Sewell keeps cementing his place. DeMarco Jackson's also in that battle. It's pretty remarkable how set the starting units are. I mean, we can kind of
That is
almost write
fair,
them
yeah.
in pen. Terrell Burgess got a ton of snaps. That's been true throughout, but
I
cemented it
forgot, like,
today.
Nate Shepherd is somebody that I think is
Yeah,
maybe entrenched, and I'm not sure, that at the beginning of camp, I'm not sure that we would have viewed
I've
it
been
that way.
charting that every day. 3 days ago, it felt like it was Jonathan Bullard ahead of Shepard 4 days ago, 4 practices ago, I should say. The last couple, and especially today, Shepard has reinserted himself, and actually, Jonah Williams was back to getting more valuable work than Bullard today. So a lot of mixing and matching for that number 2 DE spot, but I do agree with you with Shepard kind of emerging there for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of was wondering where he would fit in. I got him moving the end, I think helps probably keep him in there. He's incredibly strong. I think that helps probably with your run defense, where the goals are maybe a little bit different to sometimes eat up a block so people can flow in that 3-4 front. So that gives him a place.
One thing that's I don't want to say disturbing, but we just talked about how Danny Stutzman's playing so many valuable snaps as a rookie. They don't care where you came from. Quincy Riley's been almost exclusively with the twos, but he's getting valuable snaps because of Brzee and Shepard, who are usually your first two ends, Jonah Williams and Jonathan Bullard, who get a lot of work with the ones and the twos. Vernon Broughton is not getting many high value snaps
He
at all at that position.
I noticed today he got a couple first teams. So
Yeah,
that was something for him. But yeah, I mean it isn't a lot. It isn't
yeah,
a
it's
lot.
not a
And
lot.
they're sprinkling him in there. He was in there today. He actually caused a
They brought him
throw.
in on the 2 minute. That's when they let him
He
in,
caused
which is interesting that they like him in that
he
package. That
caused a
2 minute.
throwaway
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So that was a good moment for him. I thought it was important for him. But I agree. Not necessarily as loud, but I also think he's probably developmental path is probably
Yeah.
cool. I think you see some things from him, but yeah, it's not he's not tearing down the door just yet in that situation. Really interested to see what he's a guy that feels like he's two splash plays away from like just really being in the mix and maybe
He should. And they have to find out about these. I feel like they can't keep all the veterans, so they're almost like competing for jobs on the team. Broughton will be on the team and will
yeah.
have that opportunity eventually. Running back and receiver are the other interesting ones. I mean, I think nothing has shocked us. Um, I I will say I'm kind of surprised Cam Akers keeps getting like really, really high value looks. He was second today, even ahead of Kendry Miller. They did a ton of rotating though. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got in there a little bit. Velas Jones keeps making a splash, but they've got him more with the twos and the threes where he's making a splash. But I don't know if Cam Akers is sort of like show it to us now, make or break, or if it means he's entrenched because I haven't necessarily seen it.
There's no way he's in trend.
Yeah, it's
There's no
crazy, but yeah,
there's no
it's
way.
crazy
But
that he is kind of continues to get those snaps, sometimes ahead of Kendre and often ahead of Edwards Hilaire too. Yeah.
I think they're probably trying to figure out what they have in
Yeah.
Cam and Clyde
Yeah.
and probably Devin Neal, and I think the three of them guys are probably competing for one job. Is
Yeah.
probably how it goes. I think 100%. Obviously, Alvin's on the team. I would put him in, and so when we do the
Yeah.
depth chart thing, I'll do the locks, near locks, on the fence, long shots, lock Alvin, near lock Kendre Miller. I wish I could have another category. I'd put Velas there, and then I'd have the other guys.
Velas ahead
Yeah,
because he's so unique.
yeah, but like I wouldn't want to call the other guys long shots, but
Yeah. Well, I
I
think
don't want to like I don't want to say like a near lock for
yeah.
Velas, but I would say key in the door.
Yeah. Interesting. And that doesn't mean he'd play a bigger role than whoever wins that other job. It's just that those guys are all 33%, 33%, 33%. He does what he does.
Yes, he does
Uh
what he does.
yeah.
He's going to give you some receiving. He's going to give you some home run hitting ability. I mean, we saw it on that third down draw when
Yeah.
they wanted to catch the team off guard. Like it was him in that situation. I think like Clyde, Cam, and Devin Neal are probably like there's a protection element that they're competing on, a little bit
Yeah.
ball carrying element. I think they're all kind of cut from the same cloth, and I just man, I don't know. Like maybe Vila's like
Yeah.
completely wilts during the preseason, but I would say today, if you're doing it, I think there is a leading element to him. If we're just going off of like who's making plays, and Like, I think that's
They
how
did
this
they did
works.
make Bayless play during the,
Bayless, that's right.
Bayless play during the people get tackled session late in practice. It was threes versus threes, and Kellen Moore was even, well, obviously, we're not gonna put Alvin and Olave out there. It was him and Marcus Yarns who
Well,
had to
he's
get
still
tackled
he
today.
still definitely
Yeah.
gotta he's definitely still gotta earn it. There's
Yeah.
an element of
Yeah.
that, no doubt about it. But I think I don't know. I've heard good things.
No question. And then receiver, same thing. I mean, every once in a while, I think it's gonna be Dante Pettis, and then they've got him playing behind Bub Means and behind Kevin Austin. Sometimes I feel good about Mason Tipton, and he keeps living up to it. But the only thing that has become clear there is that Donovan Peoples Jones is way behind. Like, I thought he might move closer to the top of that based on his experience in the league, but he's been an odd man out so far.
They rotate a lot. Like Pettis
Yeah.
gets a lot of first team reps
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got a lot of like a ton of catches from whoever the number one guy is like throughout. I just think it's a rough group after the top. I really do. I
No
think
doubt.
I don't see a ton. I would have liked to see, Tipton make some plays today. He caught a pass in the flat, and then with another one from Hayner. That was it from him today. I would have liked to see a little more from him in this. I I I don't have anything really to say about the camp Bub Means is having, which
No.
is maybe
Which
one of
is
the
a
biggest
shame. He
disappointments.
should have had a huge opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want Kevin Austin Jr. to be a thing. Like, and every now and then I think he's a thing, and then I don't, and like that isn't coming together quite
And then
the
we
way I'd
never
like.
mentioned Cedric Wilson, who they're giving every opportunity. I mean, he goes in fourth every day, and maybe he's going to be their best blocker, and he's going to make the team because of it or his knowledge of the offense. But he's not showing up on the making plays
Yeah.
every day. That's for sure.
So that's just where that one kind of is right now. All right, going on to the next topic presented by Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. Make sure you're hitting up the Earhart Agency if you are looking for Chabert. Justin Reed, looking like a leader, making kind of emerging into that role. What stands out?
Well, there were two things 2 days in a row yesterday. I mean, a funny little thing, but still kind of notable when Jonas Sanker was coming in to do his interview session. Justin Reed and Julian Blackman come in and they put him through this rookie hazing ritual where they make him answer all these questions and it's awkward, make him say good things about them. But it was in, like the camaraderie that is being built not only among the rookie, but the other veteran who just showed up and they look like they're best friends and they've been playing together forever.
Yep.
And then today, as we said, good start for the offense in the scrimmage. Rattler leads them to a field goal drive. Shuck leads them to a touchdown drive. Players said it was Justin Reed who gathered everyone on the sideline and said, "We're better than this. This isn't our standard." They said he was being hard on us, but he was telling us right. And he goes, "We locked in after that, and we didn't give up any more points after that." So like that's the kind of player they added in him. It's notable.
Yeah, it's a decent group back there, I think. And losing Tyron, it kind of really put it in the flex, but it does feel like they're going to be okay at that safety position. And it's really, I think, highly important because look, it defined a lot of what DA's defense did, but I really think that that safety position is a massive definer of what Brandon Staley wants to do. I think you have to have really smart players back there to make this work the way they want it to work. They're holding their look forever, shifting post snap. There's a lot of responsibility on them to make sure they have the details right. And I think Reed's intellect really stands out there. Blackman seems really smart. Sanker seems like a really smart guy too. Just talking to him, I like his demeanor and the way he carries himself. But no doubt about it. It feels like it's Justin Reed secondary now. And there's a big void there after Tyron left. I think
Yeah.
he's doing his best to fill it. We'll see how it works out during the season, but no doubt about it. That's something that's standing out here. And I agree that the little scene yesterday, it felt meaningful in
Yeah.
some type of capacity.
Godshot too. The two signings they brought in seem like they're instant leaders on this team.
Going to the next topic, presented by Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. If you're looking for something to eat, make sure you swing by there up on Vets.
I'll
All
take
right.
this one from you because I was
All right.
watching today's scrimmage and kind of half jokingly said to whoever was next to me, "What if they let Shuck and Rattler just come out and pick their teams and that's the scrimmage?" And I immediately thought that's a topic for today's show. All right, so you're Rattler, I'm Shuck. You get the first pick, I get the second
Can I
pick.
be somebody that's not one? Can I just be a coach picking a team?
No, you're the quarterbacks because we're not picking quarterbacks.
But
But
I
you could be
want,
a coach.
but I want to pick a quarterback.
No, you're not allowed to. We're not picking quarterbacks.
All right. Well, my first pick, I'm taking Healthy Taysom, and I'm putting him on my team, and I'm gonna run schoolyard stuff, and whatever it gives me an option to have
All
different
right.
things happening.
You got to take current Taysom. You got to take current Taysom.
He
All
can
right.
stand back there
All
and
right.
throw up. I need
All
it
right.
too.
Fair.
We can run some trick plays.
All right. All right. That look, you've built in a safety net. He wasn't on my list, and that's just shrewd. That's what you do. I'm taking Eric McCoy. if I'm thinking from a quarterback standpoint, but I also think from a coach standpoint. Almost every other position on my list, I've got another guy. Like, yeah, this guy's better than this guy, but
Hold
at
on, are
least
we
I can have
playing
this guy.
schoolyard football or like we're blocking?
We're playing today's scrimmage.
Okay, all right,
We're playing today's scrimmage.
all right. Schoolyard draft. I'm thinking like
No,
NFL street. Like we're playing like 5-on-5.
You're playing 11 on 11 today, and you've got to look good, and you've got to put the bet. Like your team has to do the best
Can I
job of.
let's 3 to 5? Let's just go
Okay.
slow, guys. Because like otherwise, I'm gonna take Banks, you're gonna take Tally, and we're never gonna draft any of the fun players. So like we know we're taking offensive linemen, and none of us want to be the one that ends up with
All
like
right.
the guy like whoever can't snap. Like none of us want to end up there.
Are we taking defensive players too? I got defensive players on my list.
I thought we were just going like, let's pick the
I'm saying
schoolyard.
you're trying to win
All right.
the scrimmage. Who do you pick on the Saints?
Let's draft it like it's a 7-on-7.
7. Okay, so my number one pick, McCoy, is out the window.
He's out the window.
All right.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Because otherwise we're just doing the top 20 ranking.
All right. Then I'll take Alvin because
All right,
there's 2 really good receivers, but there's no other Alvin.
No doubt about it. If you this is tricky. This is tricky. All of a sudden we're in the mix. I'm gonna be willing to sacrifice one of the receivers. I'm happy with whatever one I get.
All right.
So I'm gonna go defense. And I feel like this guy could make some plays for me on offense too. I'm gonna take Alante.
All right. I have to take. Damn. I was gonna do the Kool-Aid Alante thing that you just did with the receivers. I don't feel like Kool-Aid should be my second pick, but
I feel like I can hand the ball off to Alante on like some sweeps. He's got the punt return. Like we can hit him on a screen and maybe he makes a play. I feel like Alante would be a beast in NFL Street. Shout out to the GameCube.
I'm taking Kool-Aid just because I don't want you to flank me by ending up with both corners.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Top 2 corners.
That's a good pick.
But you backed me into a corner with your pick.
That's a good
Now
pick.
I'm playing defense.
You're playing defense. All right. I'm gonna take Olave. I'm going Olave.
Okay. And now I have to take Shaheed. So look what you've done. You've dictated this draft.
So I got 3 picks in and I got 2 more to go. Is that how we're going?
I've made 3. You've only taken Alante and a lot. You've only taken Alante.
I got Taysom.
Oh, you started with Taysom and I couldn't take McCoy.
Yeah.
So we're 3-3. Okay.
Yeah.
You got Taysom, I got Alvin.
Yeah, you definitely.
You got Olave, I got Shaheed, and you got Alante, I got Kool-Aid.
Yeah, the people are gonna pick your team. There's no question about it. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna.
Alvin can play quarterback for my team too.
Yeah,
I can get Alvin at quarterback.
You can get some trick plays going.
We're
with
both
it.
just
No
gonna
doubt
run
about it.
QB power. I'm gonna run it with Alvin. You're gonna run it with Taysom.
No doubt about it. And I'm gonna run some like crazy flea flickers and all this stuff. All right. Oh man, I don't know where to go from here. It gets tough. It gets tough. I will. I'm gonna take DeMario.
Yep, he would have been my next pick. And since you took DeMario, I'll stay on brand and take Chase Young.
Okay.
Still a believer. I still think he's going to impact your team the most of anyone I have to choose from in that front 7.
And then I guess I got to. I got one more pick. Who do I want to pull here? This is tough. This is a big decision. It's a big decision.
Who are you thinking? You can think out loud on this one.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have to go running back, even though I don't have one.
You got Taysom.
Yeah, I got Taysom. So I'll roll with that. I'll stick with him. Ah, man. If we're just going off of like camp highlights, Mason Tipton is the next pick. He's the guy, but I don't want to invest there necessarily. I want somebody that I feel like can do some things for me on both sides of the ball. I don't know where that player necessarily exists. I feel like I could have DeMario get some carries for me too if I had to. So I got to play 2 ways here, both sides of the ball.
Oh, you got to play 2 ways.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to fill out this roster later. This is your whole team.
I'm going schoolyard here.
Oh man,
Schoolyard.
You're off the list. Although no one. If it is it 2-hand touch or tackle? Because if it's tackle, then Gottschalk can be my running back.
Whatever, schoolyard, 2-hand touch, I guess. So, man.
All right, you made my decision easier then when you're done here.
I feel like I'm gonna take. You're
thinking of Mason Tipton over Brandon Cooks?
I don't know.
I know it's tough.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Julian Blackman because I don't want to give up a bomb.
All right. I was gonna pick Justin Reed then. Now look, I had Granderson and I had Brzee and I had Godshaw on my list, but
Yeah,
seven on seven playing both ways. Yeah, I'll take Justin Reed.
we were kind of
Yeah,
drafting under
yeah.
different roles here. So
I
like
consider I
you
consider
probably wouldn't have picked
yeah.
Chase Young if you knew he had to play both ways, but
I I
oh
feel pretty
man.
good about Chase Young out there doing anything in a 5-on-5 game.
I mean, I guess you could just have him stand in the end zone and probably catch a pass at some point.
He's pretty fast.
He's tall.
Jawan Johnson should have been a consideration for something like that, but you know, maybe this is the year where he
I'm
gets himself in the 7
I'm
on
not
7
gonna
draft.
like I'm a little bit
Yeah,
lukewarm on
I
the
know,
early
I
Juwan
know,
Johnson hype.
I know.
You know, I think it's just kind of quieted down a little bit.
Yep.
He made a he had a great play today. It was actually one of Shuck's best moments. Like he just put the ball on him with someone on his back, just right in the chest, just gunned it in there. Like it was a nice play. That was a good play for both of them. We're gonna hit a quick break and we'll be back with the Get Gordon question of the day. It is now time for the Get Gordon question of the day, presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you are hurt in an accident, need help, need consultation, whatever, get Gordon, give them a call. They'll get you right. They'll get you taken care of in that time of need. Our question today is: should anyone be concerned about the O line struggling against backups, or anything about the offensive line in general?
It's weird. I feel like Chase Young and Carl Granderson have had really nice camps. You've even pointed out some nice things you've seen from Cam Jordan, but I don't feel like Kelvin Banks and Tolly Flog are doing a bad job. I mean, I kind of need to see them really trying to hit the quarterback to know for sure how to grade that. My gut would say no. When I individually try to focus on these offensive linemen, I'm not discouraged by them individually, but can't help but acknowledge the defensive line and across the board are having a strong camp, and the offense across the board is not having a strong camp. So fair to ask.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving up a little and they're gonna. Banks is a rookie. He's got to lose, come back, do better. I think he's playing really well. I think Fuaga's been pretty solid overall, pretty good overall. There's a lot of stuff happening. Like, Chase had one today on a stunt. Like, so that stuff's kind of coming back on the inside. I would honestly say my biggest area of concern so far with the starters has been right guard more than anything. So, that's something that I just think that needs to tighten up a little bit. But overall, no, I'm not super worried about him, and I think that's probably gonna be one of the better things with the team.
It better be.
It has to be. That's gonna do it for today's show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.